It's 2 o'clock, and it's time again for me to be here in my pastor's chair for our appointment at 2 o'clock. If you do not know me, I'm Pastor Lou Kilgore. I am the pastor here and in this community. And this is the High Mountain Presbyterian Church community I speak of that meets in physical location in Franklin Lakes, New Jersey. And happy to be here with you today. You're welcome to be a part of this ongoing conversation. I notice on the statistics that come back to me, people drop in from time to time. So if you're dropping in, I'm saying hi. If you're here every day, like some of you are, I'm grateful for that and grateful that we can have a chance to connect. I never really knew when I started these conversations what the purpose of them would be. I knew we were stepping into a time of isolation, time of being apart, and it occurred to me that for whatever else it might do, it would create a connection, a daily connection, because it's live. I'm here, you're there, and I think it accomplishes that part, but it's also amounted to a time for me to reflect and then to talk a little bit about how I think about life. And I'm going to interrupt for 1 second. I hear an annoying little reverb. I don't have a television producer with me here, and so when adjustments need to be made, I'm the guy. So as I was saying, these times have evolved into some time for me to reflect and to offer that reflection as a way of highlighting our common experience as humans. And I'm enjoying it. To be honest with you, sometimes I look at my watch and I go, oh, it's 1:45. I have to stop what I'm doing. But by the time I do stop what I'm doing and come in and get myself focused and ready, I'm happy to be here. Today, and actually the last half of yesterday, I was thinking about changes. Things change. We say that all the time, right? Everything changes. But I'm not talking about just the kind of change of like the change of season, or you see a relative you haven't seen in a while, a little kid, and all of a sudden they're grown up. I'm talking about the changes that, I don't know, that happen in life. You're up, you're down. You're happy, you're sad. Maybe it's, and I do think it's true, for me it's a little more fluid than it is for some. I really don't think that I'm in a place of mood swings like manic and then depressive. It's not even close to that. But I go from one place to another, and things change for me from feeling like, oh, that's a rock I can lean on to, oh no, that's quicksand, I can't. I experienced that change a lot. So my conversation today grew out of thinking about the phrase taking for granted, accepting something as if it's just there and you can rely on that. And I like sometimes to take an inventory of those things that are there for me all the time and that are just, if it's a person or if it's a thing or if it's, sometimes it's as basic as being really glad that when I lay down on my bed, it holds me up. The things we take for granted. But there's another way to say that, which is a mispronunciation, which is take it for granted. Meaning you assume it's granite. It's set in stone, so that it's something that is but will never change. It's not sand. So this is the way my mind is going. I'm thinking about these kinds of things, and it's a good time to talk with a pastor about these things. Maybe it connects to something that's happening in your life. Maybe it's a work you need to do today, or you want to do today, to take an inventory. Just look in your bag of tricks and see what things are there that you can always count on. Maybe it's a person, someone that you could say, now there's Old Faithful. Or maybe in your life it's not feeling stable like that today. Maybe there's changes. In the preschool work that we're doing, we're required to take the children's temperature a lot, and my temperature gets taken. I've had my temperature taken more in the last couple of days than I have probably in the last year. And you watch, your temperature goes up and down. Not a lot, but it changes. So all of that thinking about what's stable, what's granite, like the rock, and what is it? And then I was remembering that many years ago now, I read a book by C.S. Lewis. He's a children's fantasy writer, but from a Christian perspective. And he wrote The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which he was famous for. And he wrote Out of the Silent Planet, which was part of a trilogy of books. And the reason I think about that is that he had a very broad imagination, and he imagined that this planet, with its fixed land and water, so in Genesis it says that the power of God set apart the land and the water. So the land and the dry land you could stay on, and then there's the seas, and the seas are changing, they're rocking, they're rolling, and you can't stay on them. But in his trilogy, he imagined another planet. And on this planet, during the daytime, or during the nighttime, all the human beings, or the creatures, could go onto the fixed part of the planet, and you could sleep. So there was a part that was solid ground, but it was only solid in the nighttime. And in the daytime, it rolled like the sea. It was still earth that you could walk on, but it rolled. It had changing surface. The changing surface was a part of the daily life during daylight hours. It's fascinating. Let's just go there for a little bit and imagine. And at night, by the will of the Creator, you were allowed to step onto the solid ground, and everything would be calm and still. Your granite for the night. But in the day, the living of the day, it was full of the adventure of the ups and downs, the movement, the changes of life. And I think that's really kind of how living is. We go to sleep at night, we put our head on a pillow, and if we sleep well, I don't know, this age, sometimes I don't sleep so well, but mostly I do. But it's a topic of conversation among all my contemporaries. You lay your head down on the pillow, you go to sleep, close your eyes, and you do not have to think of anything. Take it for granted. Tomorrow will be tomorrow. Today is over. It's done. And in the morning, when we wake up, is when we engage again in the adventure of the moving land. thing is changing. It's sometimes difficult to adjust to the changeability, to the ups and downs of life, if you will. And we long for that stability. We long for the sameness so that we can rest. And I think about all of that because as tired and worn as the contemporary topics are about infections and economics and politics, as tired and worn as they are, they still point to the undulating, the uncertainty, the changeability of our lives. Fortunately, the land is fairly solid. This building is, they dig a foundation down, they anchor the building into the ground, and unless there's an earthquake, things remain still, and so you can build structures. But in the living of our lives, there is the undulation, the ups and the downs. And in that environment, what C.S. Lewis said is that on that planet, the purpose of God in creating that undulating, changing, movable, think of it as the emotional world, think of it as the physical world. It changes. Relationships especially, they are dynamic and they change. They change. And that in that daytime thing of relating to the undulations and the ups and the downs, God was seeking to create an environment of trust. Not taken for granted, but trust. Where we could learn not to be afraid as the changes come and go, but that we would look for a constant that couldn't be touched, but a constant that would be our guide, a constant that would be our stay. And that we would learn in this changeable day. Did you notice the change in the weather yesterday? This is also where it got reinforced. Started out early in the morning, it looked like it was going to be a rainy day. The sun came out of nowhere. The clouds parted and they were gone. And then 45 minutes later, thick blanket of clouds again. And then a little bit of rain. And then the sun was shining again. Clouds. The sky. How is the sky? That is a good symbol, good metaphor for how life itself really is. And learning to keep your balance and to keep a sense of steadiness in the middle of the rolling tide. It's like getting sea legs, only you're not at sea. This, it seems to me, is in the scriptures an invitation to a constant faith in God. Is really what's talked about. To lean on God. To rest assured that God is with you and with me, always. So that in the changing times of life, we can rest, even though it's not night. And we can experience a reduction of anxiety. Some of the language of the recovery movement comes out of this kind of discovery. This too shall pass. Just wait a while. What's up will be down, what's down will be up. Learn to find that balance in the middle. So it's Wednesday, it's the middle of the week. Put your arms out and find your balance. I know that's the message to me today. I hope it connects with something in your life. I hope it resonates with where you want to be and how you want to live. So that for all of us, we can just be calm. Be calm. Because the world is not calm right now. It's not. May God bless you with sea legs. That's it. That's the word for today. Sea legs. You may know how to walk from here to there, even if the boat you're on is rocking. You still get from here to there. Keep your eye on the goal. Find your peace and your rhythm as you go through it. That's the blessing of God. That's what I mean when I pray that for you. I pray it for you now, that you have that blessing of God with you and always with you, so that you can be a blessing to those that God leads you to come into contact with. And in so doing, God blesses the world. Thank you, my friends. It's good to talk to you today, talk with you, and I will see you tomorrow. God bless you.